We all know that feeling, right? That pit in our stomach when we mess up. That voice in our head telling us we're not good enough. It's the fear of failure, and it's universal. We've all been there, frozen by the thought of making a mistake. But what if I told you that failure isn't the enemy? What if instead it's the secret ingredient to success? Think about it. We learn to walk by falling down, to talk by mispronouncing words, to ride a bike by, well, falling off. Every stumble, every fumble is a lesson learned, a step closer to mastery. Yet somewhere along the way, we start to fear mistakes. We begin to see them as setbacks instead of setups for growth. This fear is paralyzing. It keeps us from taking risks, from trying new things, from reaching our full potential. But imagine a world where we embrace our mistakes, where we view them as opportunities for learning and growth. Imagine the possibilities if we could rewire our brains to see failure not as an ending, but as a beginning. Thomas Edison, the brilliant mind behind the light bulb, knew a thing or two about failure. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine that, 10,000 attempts, 10,000 opportunities to learn and refine his approach. Edison didn't see these failures as defeats. He saw them as stepping stones, as essential data points on his path to success. Each attempt, each mistake, brought him closer to his goal. He understood that the path to innovation is paved with trial and error, with learning from what doesn't work as much as from what does. This mindset, this embrace of the iterative process, is what sets apart those who achieve greatness from those who simply dream about it. It's about shifting our perspective from "I failed" to "I learned something valuable." It's about recognizing that every mistake, no matter how big or small, is an opportunity for growth. Think about the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur. Did they wake up one day and magically invent the airplane? Of course not. They crashed. A lot. Their workshop was littered with the remnants of failed attempts, broken propellers, and crumpled wings. But they never gave up. Each crash provided valuable data, helping them refine their design and understand the complexities of flight. They embraced their mistakes, learned from them, and eventually soared into the history books. The Wright brothers' story reminds us that progress is rarely linear. It's messy, it's iterative, and it often involves more than a few bumps along the way. But it's in those bumps, in those moments where we might be tempted to give up, that true learning occurs. Let's move from the world of invention to the realm of imagination. J.K. Rowling, the creator of the magical world of Harry Potter, faced her fair share of rejection before achieving phenomenal success. Her manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was rejected by 12 different publishers. 12. Can you imagine the sting of rejection 12 times over? Most of us would have given up after the first, maybe the second. But Rowling persevered. She believed in her story, learned from the feedback she received, and kept refining her craft. Those rejections, those perceived failures, didn't break her. They fueled her. They pushed her to become a better writer, to hone her craft, and ultimately to share her magical world with millions of readers. Our brains on mistakes, a bumpy road to learning. Now let's delve into the science behind all of this. Why is it so hard to embrace mistakes? Well, our brains are wired for survival, and for our ancestors, making a mistake could mean the difference between life and death. So, our brains developed a negativity bias, making us more likely to remember and dwell on negative experiences like mistakes than positive ones. This negativity bias served us well in the past, but in our modern world it can hold us back from reaching our full potential. When we make a mistake, our brains release cortisol, the stress hormone. This stress response can be helpful in small doses, motivating us to correct our mistakes and avoid similar situations in the future. However, when we're constantly bombarded with stress from perceived failures, it can lead to anxiety, fear of taking risks, and a reluctance to step outside of our comfort zones. The fixed mindset, a recipe for stagnation. This fear of failure is often rooted in what psychologist Carol Dweck calls a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that intelligence, talent, and abilities are static and unchangeable. They see mistakes as evidence of their limitations, proof that they're not good enough. This mindset is a recipe for stagnation. When we believe we can't improve, we stop trying. We avoid challenges, stick to what we know, and miss out on opportunities for growth. The fixed mindset keeps us stuck in a cycle of fear and self-doubt. But there's another way, a more empowering way to view our abilities and our relationship with mistakes. Embracing the growth mindset, your path to resilience. This is where the growth mindset comes in. People with a growth mindset believe that intelligence and abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They see mistakes not as setbacks, but as opportunities for learning and improvement. The beauty of the growth mindset is that it allows us to reframe our relationship with failure. We begin to see mistakes as stepping stones, as essential feedback on our journey to mastery. This shift in perspective is incredibly liberating. It frees us from the fear of failure and allows us to embrace challenges with a sense of curiosity and determination. Now, let's bring this home to New York City, a place where the energy is palpable, the pace is relentless, and the hustle is real. New York City is a testament to the power of resilience, to the idea that mistakes, setbacks, and even failures can be catalysts for extraordinary success. Think about the entrepreneurs who launched businesses that failed, only to rise from the ashes with even bigger and bolder ideas. Think about the artists who faced rejection after rejection, yet continued to hone their craft until their unique voices were finally heard. Think about the everyday New Yorkers who navigate the challenges of this city with grit, determination, and a healthy dose of humor. New York City is a living, breathing example of the growth mindset in action. It's a place where people come to reinvent themselves, to chase their dreams, and to prove that even in the face of adversity, anything is possible. So how can we cultivate this New York state of mind, this ability to bounce back from setbacks and turn mistakes into fuel for growth? Here are a few tips. First, reframe your thinking. Instead of saying, "I failed," try, "This didn't work out as planned, but I learned." Shifting your language can shift your perspective. Second, embrace the learning process. View mistakes as valuable data points. What went wrong? What can you do differently next time? Third, don't be afraid to ask for help. New Yorkers are known for their willingness to help each other out. Don't be afraid to reach out to mentors, friends, or colleagues for support and guidance. Fourth, celebrate your small victories. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. Recognize your progress and acknowledge your resilience. Remember, embracing mistakes isn't about striving for perfection. It's about embracing the messy, imperfect, and ultimately human process of learning and growth. It's about recognizing that our mistakes don't define us, but they can refine us. The transformative power of mistakes lies in our willingness to learn from them, to adjust our course, and to keep moving forward with resilience and determination. It's in those moments when we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and say, "Okay, what did I learn from that?" that we truly begin to flourish. So the next time you make a mistake, take a deep breath and remind yourself that it's okay. It's all part of the process. Embrace the stumbles, celebrate the comebacks, and never underestimate your ability to learn, grow, and achieve amazing things. Because in the grand adventure of life, the greatest successes are often born from the ashes of our so-called failures. Remember, you're capable of incredible things. You have the power to turn your mistakes into masterpieces, to transform your setbacks into setups for even greater success. So go out there, embrace the unknown, and never be afraid to make a few glorious mistakes along the way.